the positive impact of ICT in globalization. First is the cloud computing. This helps us to access files which contains information and gain knowledge which can be used in building up more ideas. Next one is the digital and mobile movement. Recently, the world has been filled with ICT devices like smartphones and laptops. With the growing popularity of these types of technologies, individuals and companies are able to collaborate with one another more frequently and in so many ways than ever before. With the help of ICT, the transportation becomes 1,000 times better because when you experience the trouble of going to different places before, it might get you exhausted. Moreover, you can now communicate in an instant by just connecting through the internet, and you can freely contact everyone on your list, may it be your boss or your colleague. In this way, companies can communicate with clients and employees who are around the world and give them the latest news that they may need to know in order to do business with other clients or other companies. E-commerce. The applications of ICT are very diverse, and one such area is electronic commerce. Today, e-commerce has become an integral part of everyday life. Accessibility to e-commerce platforms is not a privilege, but rather a necessity for most people, particularly in the urban areas. There are alternative e-commerce platforms available for almost every aspect of our lives, starting from purchasing of everyday household items to online shares and commodities. The negative impacts of ICT and globalization. Inevitably, since ICT can automate and capable of doing most of the job with more accuracy and efficiency, these jobs have disappeared from the hands of humans. Computer-controlled robots are widely used on production lines, thus replacing human workers. Computer-controlled warehouses only requires a handful of staff to operate them. The old skills of workers in the printing industry are now out of date. Hundreds and thousands of people lost their jobs as these changes happened. Job loss is unpleasant. In addition, it also creates all kinds of stress and disruptions in family and society in general. The technology gap between the rich and poor. Even as technology becomes more affordable and internet access seems increasingly ubiquitous, a digital divide between rich and poor remains. The rich and educated are still more likely than others to have a good access to digital resources, according to the Pew Internet and American Life Project. The digital divide has especially far-reaching consequences when it comes to education. During this time of pandemic, education has changed dramatically with the distinctive rise of e-learning, whereby teaching is undertaken remotely and on digital platforms.